family business, and 1979 Iranian Revolution happened, and because I was quite a bit of a spoiled child and had a very high standard of living, that's expense, I had to become an entrepreneur. So some people say, are you born an entrepreneur or do you learn to become an entrepreneur? The best entrepreneurs are the ones that are passionate and have no other choice other than to succeed. So if you know any one of those in the room, please introduce them to me. And in general, I have had quite exciting, challenging, I have had many failures, but plug and play I think is my 14 or 15 startups, and it's where I truly enjoy spending my time and then growing it in different countries around the world.
Thank you, Saeed. And then we cannot miss Saeed's founding story, very interesting story of Plug and Play. As a young immigrant from Iran and non-tech person, how did you actually start Plug and Play?
It's a great question. You know, my office was on University Avenue, actually the building that we call the Lucky Building, 165 University Avenue, about 1 mile from Stanford. And in the same building, while I started my bottled water and packaging business, Luigi Zappacasta brought Logitech from Geneva to Palo Alto. Until today, he's one of my best friends. This is going back to 1979. And then we had another neighbor that invented a portable computer. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, called Osborne computer, that you could carry like a suitcase. And then, quite frankly, after I purchased the building, Peter Thiel of PayPal came to rent space from us, and we had an opportunity to invest in his company. Then we had Andy Rubin of Android start Danger or Sidekick in the building. So we gave him the first $400,000 check, and 5 years later, he was not successful, but he sold Danger to Microsoft for $500 million. Then he started Android. And we were just about to seed fund it, that he suddenly disappeared for 6 months, and then he re-emerged inside Google. That, quite frankly, Larry and Sergey made him an offer he could not refuse. I think it was like a $20 million signing bonus, plus a lot of Google shares. And quite frankly, that is the only way I would say Android could compete with Apple for operating system. You needed that money and the power of Google. And you could say I started investing as an angel. I used to do 4 or 5 investments a year. And most of my investments came from Palo Alto, University Avenue. And as I'm kind of a slow businessman, I thought, what about if it's a big building and there's a lot of startups in the building? Maybe I can find more PayPals. And that's how I started, without frankly ever visiting any incubator, accelerator, or any sort of co-working space. I went and started Plug and Play in January 2006. And as they say, the rest is history.
Very inspiring. Plug and Play has been scaling up like Silicon Valley ecosystem more than 10 years, and then nurturing more than, if I understand this, it's more than 2,000 startups globally. and also with many successful investment stories, including Dropbox and Lending Club, and also N26, which you mentioned earlier this morning. Can you share with it how exactly PMP is bolstering startup ecosystem in Silicon Valley as a top accelerator?
Yeah, you know, how many of you have been to Silicon Valley? Right? So quite frankly, in Silicon Valley, we have maybe 10 events like this per day. Startup Plug and Play itself, we do 600 events a year inside Plug and Play. I mean, like, there is something happening, if not 1, 2 per day. And it's the energy, it's what I would call the alums from Google, alums from HP, even Intel. You know, the whole ecosystem is built on success stories, quite frankly, rich people. I love to share like real stories that you might not have heard. When Larry and Sergey met Andy Beshkeltan, they met him at the tennis court when he was playing tennis with his girlfriend, now his wife, and they were highly recommended. And they said, oh, we are starting a search company. And Andy went on the top of his Porsche and started writing a check. And Andy said, what should I make it to? He said, you haven't registered the company yet, leave it blank. So he actually gave them a check because he was very highly recommended from Ram Sharam that it's still on the board of Google. So the whole Silicon Valley atmosphere is, you could call it risk capital, but actually they have created more value than anywhere else in the world. And if you're an entrepreneur, I recommend you must have a foot in Silicon Valley. You should not move your company to Silicon Valley because you could not afford your next engineer. You could have 3 founding great engineers, but the next engineer will cost you $200,000 a year. So we recommend very much the Israeli model, that you keep the core team in Israel, but you have a few key people in Silicon Valley. And, you know, a little bit similar to me doing bottled water around the world. I just feel whatever happens in Silicon Valley, we could mimic in Seoul, Korea, connect it to Beijing, to Singapore, to Silicon Valley for expansion of market, raising money, and going global. And this is why I have approximately 30 offices around the world. And the stat you had was a little bit sort of old. Today we accelerate 1,200 startups per year, and we have accelerated more than 10,000 startups globally, and we have an investment portfolio of last count 1,045 companies. And we still are praying so that find the next Dropbox or the next Lending Club. But I don't know why I could sit in California and spend all of my money in 2 weeks, but I kind of try to find great entrepreneurs in Berlin, like N26 or Rappi in Bogota, Colombia, and occasionally I get lucky.
As you said, Plug and Play has strong presence around the world actually. Tokyo, Singapore, Paris, Berlin, Frankfurt, Jakarta, and more. That's a very different approach compared to other US-based accelerator. How did you think of expanding PMP globally? What's the behind motivation of that?
You know, as I got involved with more and more startup, and quite frankly, investing and plug and play was my hobby. It was sort of what I enjoyed to do, but slowly it became my full-time job, actually a little bit more than full-time job. Then the startups need the team, the technology, the idea, the solution that solves a big problem. Then the next thing they need is clients. Especially in B2B businesses, the first 5 clients a startup needs to have makes the company or breaks the company. So as we started plug and play and specializing in different verticals, like banking and fintech, like insurtech. So in our banking and insurtech platform, we have 120 of the largest financial institutions in the world, like BNP Paribas, MUFG, your bank, to come to us to look for solution to help their digital transformation. And when I did this in California for 2 to 3 years, Mercedes asked me, Saeed, can you please do this for us in Stuttgart? Nissan and the Alliance Venture, which is Renault, Mitsubishi, and Nissan, asked me, Saeed, can you do this for us in Japan? And then actually the first, they told me they want me to do it in Yokohama. And I said, I'm not coming to Yokohama. You have to come to Tokyo. So we now have the same mobility IoT platform in Silicon Valley, in Stuttgart, in Tokyo, in Beijing, and I think in March we will be opening our Detroit office. But I am here to connect entrepreneurs that want to solve like electric car problem, connected car problem, autonomous car problem, and I can put you in front of Mercedes if you have the right product. Ola, who is the new CEO, within 30 days. And just to give you an example, with Mercedes, we do 60 pilots per year, 20 of the pilots going to production, and Mercedes co-invests with us in 4 or 5 startups per year. And I think that's pretty cool that I can go to Stuttgart and call Ola and he will see me. That's what I'm hoping to do here with Hyundai and Samsung one day.
Hopefully you can find a lot of corporate partnership in Korea
That's
going forward as well. It's a kind of amazing story. It's having like more than 300 multinationals, including Mercedes-Benz, and then among them is 120 financial institutions over the world. It's truly amazing for us. By the way, as you guys know from newspaper articles, we made a strategic alliance with PNP last Tuesday. Among many collaboration agendas between PNP and Shinhan, I am very excited to be able to Shinhan Futures Lab startup to Silicon Valley now. Silicon Valley is so-called is a melting pot of innovation, and then that is the home for tech giants like Apple, Google, Amazon, and Netflix, along with dozens of startups. We are particularly wondering is what's the key success factor of Silicon Valley continuously bringing the promising global startups? What is the the key lessons from there we can learn?
Wonderful. You know, actually, I'm quite amazed of the energy and the atmosphere of Seoul, Korea. I have only been here 3 days. I did 2 more days here. It is, I would say, number one, the culture of being open-minded and change is okay. Then the second one is, challenging the status quo. That something can be done better, faster, cheaper. And specifically in Northern California, doesn't matter if you're a ExxonMobil, LG, Samsung, Mercedes. Mercedes has 350 people in Sunnyvale where Plug and Play is. So the biggest success Silicon Valley has is the culture to try things, fail fast, and do it again. And or pivot. Like I have never, when we invested in PayPal, they were so advanced, they wanted to beam money to buy Starbucks coffee. And when eBay launched and people were using this secure payment term to transact money, they actually initially wanted to stop the online transaction. And then they pivoted and they said, no, let's embrace what people needs are. So I would say in Silicon Valley, everybody's willing to listen to you in coffee shop, at Plug and Play. And then if you have a good story to tell, the funding comes together, the team comes together, and as I said, we support, I think, in California between 600 to 700 startups a year. But I support them, but I only invest in about 150 of them. And then I pray a lot. It's part of Plug and Play, pray.
Great. Actually, we collected some questions, many questions from startup earlier today. But due to the time limit, I only like 2 minutes left. Let me ask you the one last question. Starting a startup now is a big trend in Korea. And then currently 36% of university graduates considering actually start their own company instead of searching for a stable job, which is 8% increase from last year. As a senior entrepreneur and a CEO of a global accelerator, can you provide a few practical advice for them?
Yeah, first of all, I love to know considering is different than doing it. So 36% are considering it, but I still think the biggest talent goes to these conglomerates. But people like me who are pretty bad students, like I was really bad, they would become entrepreneur. Not that you guys are bad, but you have to be a little bit, entrepreneurial, little stubborn, little crazy. So the little advice I have with you is you have to try it. Nowadays, even the conglomerates love to see entrepreneurial spirit in a person who have tried and hopefully been successful, or even if you fail, I guarantee you is better than the next degree. And again, there is a lot of opportunities and we should be able to find the next Samsung, the next LG among the entrepreneurs in the world. So I hope to see everybody, to meet everybody both here in Seoul, but I can host you better in California. Thank you.
Thank you.